Hello and welcome to Business News Saturday, roundup of major stories that made headlines in business. I am Frank Omalape. This week, several developments were recorded in the world of business. Let's begin the program by telling you that as part of a strategic move aimed at diversifying the nation's economy beyond oil export, the federal government has officially inaugurated the Funtua Inland Dry Port in Katsina State. Addressing attendees at the ceremony, President Bola Tinubu hailed the establishment of the Funtua Inland Dry Port as a significant stride towards Nigeria's economic advancement. Here's the report.
Speaking on behalf of the President, Secretary to the Federal Government, Dr. George Akume, highlighted the global prominence of inland dry port, particularly in the context of the container revolution and door-to-door cargo delivery. Reaffirming the government's commitment to prioritizing the completion and utilization of additional dry port projects, President Tinubu underscored the importance of vital infrastructure for the seamless operation of inland dry ports. He urged both public and private sector stakeholders to fully utilize the facilities available.
This infrastructure is integral to our administration's commitment to promoting export business across Nigeria, thereby achieving trade balance and creating employment opportunities for our youth.
Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, emphasized the agricultural prowess of Katsina State, citing its status as a leading producer of various crops in Nigeria.
The Funtua Inland Dry Port will no doubt further unlock the economic potentials of Nigeria and facilitate trade with the landlocked countries like Niger and Chad Republic.
Governor Umar Rada of Katsina State lauded the federal government's effort in ensuring the completion of the dry port, highlighting the state's contribution of land and infrastructure to the project. He called for regulatory agencies overseeing the facility to collaborate closely with the private sector and the local communities to realize the port's objectives.
This crucial infrastructure is vital for seamless transportation, reducing costs and facilitating efficient movement of goods.
Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Pius Akuta, expressed optimism about the port's potential to significantly boost the economic growth of both Katsina State and the nation as a whole.
Let's take you to the nation's capital, where the House of Representatives has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the recently introduced Cybersecurity Levy pending the modification of its circular. This comes on a day the Parliament opens investigations into the procurement process of the contract for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. We have more in this report.
In line with Section 44, subsection 2A of the Cybercrimes Prohibition and Prevention Amendment Act 2024, the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday directed all financial institutions to commence the implementation of a proposed 0.5% levy on electronic transactions in the country. Barely 24 hours after a similar motion was stepped down, Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda, on behalf of the entire members of the House, revisits the subject matter. He picks holes in the language of the CBN circular, which led to multiple interpretations, including that the levy is to be paid by bank customers.
The House is further worried that unless immediate pragmatic steps are taken to halt the proposed action of the CBN, the Cyber Crimes Act shall be implemented in error.
To avoid raging ambiguity, the House directed the CBN to withdraw the circular for modification. Lawmakers also shifted their attention to the procurement process of the ongoing Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. A motion from Benue lawmaker Austin Achado calls on the federal government to submit all guarantees.
For the award of the contract violates the Infrastructural Concession and Regulatory Commission Act 2005, and contracts for financing, construction and maintenance must be advertised for open competitive bid.
The House also mandated its Committee on Foreign Affairs to carry out a holistic investigation into the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Missions.
Had received several complaints regarding issues of employments in the ministry and missions, appointments, postings, redeployments, and disciplinary issues that have affected morals and service delivery.
In another motion, the House calls on the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, as the chairman of the board of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, to summon an emergency meeting for the urgent resuscitation of the Gbarain power plant in order to increase the national grid.
And finally, on Business News Saturday, the International Trade Center is forging collaboration with the Nigerian Shippers Council to streamline trade processes at the ECOWAS land borders. The partnership aims to maximize the advantages of the African Continental Free Trade Area. More in this report.
The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Mr. Pius Akuta, welcomed the team from the International Trade Center, emphasizing the Council's commitment to facilitating trade. He pledged support for their efforts to enhance trade formalization and gather crucial trade statistics.
Trade facilitation is one of the major aspects of what we do. And in the current dispensation, where Mr. President has created the Marine and Blue Economy Ministry, his focus is to look at how we can develop the non-oil sector. And this kind of study will further strengthen our ability and our capacity to do more in terms of looking at the border areas and look at the informal trade that is going on at these border areas.
An associate program officer of the International Trade Center team explained that their visit is part of a broader study to identify areas for improving trade facilitation, particularly at cross-border points.
The main objective of this particular output is to scale up the trade facilitation measures that have been implemented in the ECOWAS region and also in specific border crossing points. So in order for us to proceed in the delivery of this particular output, we conducted a desk research which was meant to highlight the existing trade facilitation measures.
The Council's Deputy Director of Trade Services highlighted their role in providing timely information to cross-border traders. She also discussed Nigeria's proactive steps to engage in the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The fact that some things needed to be done, strengthened, and some sort of restructuring to get that place working. Personnel is just one of it, capacity building, but even the facilities, so all these were identified.
Furthermore, the Nigerian Shippers Council manages the Border Information Center at the Semekraki border, ensuring smooth trade operations.
And that's all we have time for on Business News Saturday. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you next time.